And it says, use factoring and the product rule to simplify radicals. I've given an example here of the square root of 300. We break, since we're doing a square root, we break the radicand into two pieces, the square part and the leftover. That's what we did yesterday. So this is the square part, and this is the leftover. If it were a cube root, you'd have the cube part and the leftover. Now, using the property of the product rule for radicals, then across essentially this line I have here that breaks up the square and the radical, you have the square part, you have the leftover. The square part, you take the square root of 100, which is 10, and then you bring down the leftover. So that's why we did what we did yesterday and the way we did it yesterday. So now if I look at the square root of 27, I look at taking and breaking this into two pieces. The first front of it is going to be the square part because I'm taking the square root. The square in 27 is square in 27. 9. And then in order to get 27, it's 9 times 3. So there's the square part, there's the leftover. So now you use the product rule for radicals and break it apart at those two pieces. The square root of 9 is 3, and then there's the leftover, which is the square root of 3. So it's a jumping off point of what we did yesterday.
That number's big.
Now the cube root of 250x cubed. Again, I take my cube root and I break him into two pieces. The front part is the cube part, the back part is the leftover, and the front part, the cube into 50, if you remember, is 125, and the leftover is 2, and x cubed is a cube, so it's 125x cubed. And now across this line, because this is the cube part, that's the leftover. And by the way, eventually you just do this part in your head. But it's the cube root of 125x cubed, and then the cube root of 2. The leftover, it's what's left. Cube root of 125 is 5, and the cube root of x cubed is x, and then it's going to be times the leftover, which is the cube root of 2. Yeah, because this can't be broken down anymore, and the best you can do is a decimal answer. So you just kind of leave it alone.